All right, so this is the Medicare worksheet. So on the Medicare worksheet, this is page 1. Okay. Of page 1, right over here, what we want to be looking at, okay, is, sorry, let me move this off my screen so y'all can see it, is the information, the key information that we need. So when we're in Sunfire, the plan comparison tool in Sunfire, which you may or may not have access to, if you don't have access to it, that's because you're not contracted, right, with the insurance carrier. If you are contracted, that's because you're not certified with the carrier. So step 1 is, hey, we got to do AHIP. Step 2 is I got to get certified. Okay. So that's if you're new and you haven't done it before. So we need to get the key information, right? So the key information we need to get is their full name, right? We need to have their address, of course, their county, because it does indeed ask the county that the individual is in, right? So it doesn't just ask where the individual is located for their state. The plans change by county. So within Texas, I don't know how many counties we have, probably over 100. There's a ton of counties, and the plans are way different in Dallas than they are in Houston, and they're way different in San Antonio than they are in El Paso, right? They are dramatically different. So when you are sending this information to me, or whoever your upline is, or just looking for it for yourself, you need to have what county it is, because the county is very important in there. So of course, within the address, we need the zip code as well, because that's what it asks. And that's how Sunfire is going to tell us, right, what it's going to pull it up based on the zip code and say the county. So having that full address. If you're using an iPad and using Notability in there, or if you're using this on Adobe, whatever it is, right, you can just type in on the iPad, you can select the text option and type it in, and you can then go ahead and type it in, or you can write it in yourself. This form isn't for me. This form isn't for you today. This form is for you in the future. You want to sell insurance to people now and in the future. The way to sell insurance to people now and in the future is by retaining the information, just like with the life insurance side. Do you want to go ahead and ask your existing client for their account, the routing number, social security number, date of birth, right, mailing address, right, the beneficiary? Do you want to ask that information to them again when you call them on up in 6, 9, or 12 months or more, maybe 3 years later, to sell them more insurance? No, you don't want to. You need to have the information in front of you. And the way that you get the information in front of you, right, is by having these forms. Now, of course, a CRM is great, right? But you don't want to be inputting data, right after the sale. And that 3 to 5 minutes in between each appointment that you're inputting in a CRM, save that for the evening, save it for the morning between 8 and 10 a.m. before your first appointment at 10 a.m., right? You need to be focusing on revenue generating. There's only so much sunlight. There's only so many hours in the day that we have selling hours, right? So this stuff is for future you. It's for future you to make these sales in the future. So get that date of birth. If they have a spouse, you can fill out. I do separate forms for the spouse. Okay. But you can put the spouse's name, spouse's date of birth if they aren't aged into Medicare, right? They're 63. So you could do that. Gender, if they're married or not married. Married or not married is applicable for this section down here. Social security number. Social security number, we know we don't need for Medicare. Okay. But we need it if we need to get their Medicaid number. We need it if we need to get their Medicare number. So it's good to have, right? You don't necessarily need it, but it's better to have more information than not enough information, right? You might need it in the future. They lost their Medicare card. You didn't write it down. You were a letter off. It's good to get it. Okay. Income and assets. What is this page designed for? Well, there's a couple different things. Let's say that you sit down with someone that's selling a Medicare that you're selling a Medicare supplement to. That means that they can afford $170 per month for their Part B premium, plus another $130 for their Plan G, right? That's $300, plus another $40 for the dental vision hearing, plus another $20 for their prescription drug plan. They can afford $360 a month. Not everyone can afford $360 a month, but if they can afford $360 a month and they're buying a med sup, that might open it up to an annuity. Okay. So this is an income and assets section for that specific reason too, right? We want to know what the income is because 1, we might be able to sell them an annuity, or 2, they might qualify for other subsidies such as extra help, or LIS/extra help, or the Medicare savings program, or full Medicaid. We don't know. So write in the number, SSDI, right? Social Security, whatever it is, right? Write in the number that they get. Okay. And if they get 1,500, write it in there, right? It's good to have. Do you need it? No, but it's good to have. This is the most important page right here, right? Page 2, most important. This is the key information that you need. This is what I need in order to effectively help you with the case, right? MBI number, that's the Medicare beneficiary identification number. That is their social security number of Medicare. That's the red, white, and blue card. Okay. So we need that red, white, and blue card. That red, white, and blue card is so important. Why? Because it can tell us on Medicare.gov when we help them create an account, right? Medicare.gov, it can tell us what their previous plans are. And we need that number in order to be able to help them create a Medicare.gov account, right? So you need the MBI number. Next, the next thing that we need to do, okay, off of that number, that same red, white, and blue card, is have that Part A and Part B effective date, as we see on page 2 of the Medicare worksheet. Part A and Part B effective date. I also want to know their current carrier, right? And the plan, right? So the plan might be, their current carrier could be United Healthcare, right? And then the plan could be the HMO dual special needs plan. And their new carrier can still be United Healthcare PPO dual special needs plan, right? So for example, so use those boxes any way that you'd like. Beneath that, I need to know if they are on Medicaid. And if they are, I need to know their Medicaid number, right? LIS, if they're on it, do they have a primary care physician? Yes. If they do, we know what to do at the bottom. Are they a veteran, right? If they're a vet, what does that mean to you? Well, you have to ask more questions. Do you get all your medications from the VA? Why is that important? Because if they get their meds from the VA and not from civilian doctors, we can sell them an MA only plan. An MA only plan. That's a plan that is designed for veterans or people with credible coverage outside of Medicare that can increase their Social Security check, but still give them benefits beyond original Medicare and beyond what the VA gives them. Are they a diabetic? Right? Yeah, they might be. Do they have CHF? Yes, they might have it. And in that case, they might qualify for a chronic special needs plan. So if you fill this stuff out, it helps me tell you where we need to go, right? It helps me guide you where we need to go. Prescriptions or medical care from VA, right? Yes, they do. Do they get the meds from the VA? Yes, they do. Yes, meds. Yes, VA. Do they get any care from civilian doctors? Nope, no care from civilian doctors. Perfect. That's all I need to know, right? No care from civilian doctors. Now we know what we can do, right? Do they have Part A, Part B? Prescription drugs, right? Pharmacy and prescriptions. So their pharmacy is important, right? If they go to Walgreens, that's good to always check, make sure the pharmacy's in network. We've run into issues with that in the past before. We want to look at the drug name, okay? So the drug names, we need that. So, and you can kind of break this up if you're using like the text on the screen section of it, right? If you got text on the screen, or like you can type text and notability, you could just put like losartan, metoprolol, carvedilol, right? Those drugs on this line, Jardiance, glipizide, metformin, whatever on the next line. You don't need to, have a bunch of lines. Dosage and pills taken per day, that's not a huge factor. Okay. So I don't really need to know that. The number of pills per day is designed for me to know if it's a 90-day fill, right? If they get it through the mail or not. So drug name's the most important thing, right? I don't even, when we're on the phone, I don't even ask you for the dosage or anything like that anyways. Doctors, right? There's a lot of lines for doctors. Why? Because some clients have a lot of doctors, right? But their number one thing is primary care physician. Okay. Primary care physician. That's the key because that's what we need to write on their card. After that, we're going to have any specialist that they might have. Okay. So doctor, and then the next, and this is page 3 of the form. Okay. The next, you'll see like specialty, maybe it's like a heart doctor, right? And then are they in network with the plan that we're looking at? Obviously, we want to say yes, we hope so. But if it's a PPO and it's a dentist, well, they might not be in network, but it's a PPO and the doctor says that they take it, right? So I always call the doctor's office to confirm it. Any additional notes that you need? Okay, so this is cool. In Notability, right, the app, you can actually take pictures, okay, in Notability. While you have your iPad up, in Notability, while you're on this page in Notability, you can then click the plus sign, click camera, and go to that. You don't know what Notability is. It's an application on the iPad that you can use to write on the screen, right? Input text, have the client sign where it says client signature and date, right? Which is super important to make sure that we have that. And then you can take a picture of any cards that you might need. Okay, very, very important. So to go back over here, what card do we need on page 2? The red, white, and blue card, their Medicare card. We also need to know what their current carrier is. Where are you going to get that information? Their current health insurance card. Okay, that current health insurance card. And we may or may not know They may or may not know because they come out with 5 different cards because they've been flipped so many times, what plan that they have. So where do we get that information? We use their Medicare card to go ahead and create an account. We're going to help them create an account on Medicare.gov, and it'll tell you what plan they're in. And it'll tell you all their previous plans. That's phenomenal. But if we don't have the red, white, and blue card number, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and scroll up to page 1, right? We need to use their social security number, their address, their full name, their date of birth, right? To provide that information to a producer help desk, United Healthcare, Humana, it doesn't matter, to get that information, right? So this is all done with a purpose. Right? I don't just want you guys just to have it for fun, right? Just do it for fun. I want you to have it so you can make sales in the future and expedite your selling process today and sending it to me, right? So that way I can help you guys tell you which case is going to be the best. Now, let's say, for example, you don't have the information to call the insurance carriers. Great news. Right here, we have our Medicare carrier contact info. Where is this form? This is on the same exact thing. This is on my website in the training itself. So you guys are going to have that in my website as well in the training. Okay. So you guys have this. If you need to call the carrier, got all the websites, everything along these lines. All right. So you're contracted, right? You got the tools. You got the Medicare worksheet. You now understand what you need to put in the Medicare worksheet, but you're still a little confused on what to do when you get in the house. Okay. So you get in the house, you sit down with the client, you build some rapport, you talk to the client. Okay. And when you're talking to the client, you can then start talking to them about Medicare, right? You've done everything that you need to do in order to start talking to them about Medicare, right? You start talking to them about Medicare, and it's really simple. You just go ahead and start asking them for their cards. You know that red, white, and blue card, that Medicare card? If you just go ahead and grab that real quick. Okay, great. And your health insurance card, any health insurance cards that you got, can you just go ahead and grab that real quick? Perfect. So they're going to grab you their red, white, and blue card. They're going to grab you their Medicare card. Okay. And when they grab that stuff for you, what it's going to do is it's going to enable you. Thank you. It's going to enable you to go ahead and begin getting the information that you need to make the sale. Okay. So for me, when I'm making the sale, I start off with that exact same process. So you could be green. You could have no idea what you're doing in the Medicare process, but that's the step, right? You're contracted. Now, what do I do when I get in the home? Okay, perfect. That's what you do, right? Step 1, get the cards. Okay, now you got the cards. Step 2, start filling out the Medicare worksheet. Send me all the information, right? We don't want you guys to call us when you just get to the home, right? And you're sitting down with a client. We want you guys to do the legwork first, so that way we can help you second, right? We don't want to be on the phone with you for 30 minutes while you're trying to get the cards and find the name of the doctors. This is stuff that you need to be doing because you're an independent business owner, right? You own your own business. We don't own your business. We don't tell you what hours to work, right? You determine how much money you make in this industry. So just follow those steps, and that's going to be your intro on what you need to do. Okay. So you go ahead, you get contracted with the insurance carriers, you complete your AHIP, you get certified, and then you go to Sunfire. All right, great. Now you got all this information over here. So, right, so step 1 over there, 1 second. Step 1 over there, we now know is to get their cards, right? Step 2 is to begin completing the Medicare worksheet. Okay, really easy, pretty straightforward. Step 3 is opening up Sunfire. Okay. And when you're in Sunfire, how do you get access to Sunfire? Great question. I'd already told you what you need to do to be able to view it, right? You got to be contracted and certified with the carriers, right? And in addition to that, what I need you to do is go on my website, right? finalexpensemastery.com, or go to finalexpenseservices.com, depending on who you're associated with, right? Go there, go to the first section, which is portals in the Medicare section on my website, and follow the instructions, right? There's a PDF. When you click that PDF, Sunfire instructions, whatever it's labeled, click that. It's a PDF. It's going to tell you exactly how to get there and where to go. Beneath that is a link on where to go. And you got the instructions in a PDF on where you need to go and what to do when you get to that website, what your username is going to be, right? Your national producer number or your email address. And you hit forgot password to reset it. right? Boom, you're done. Good to go. Simple. Then you take this Medicare worksheet and you start inputting the information. Okay, first and last name. Let me go ahead and create an account for my client. I don't know how to use Sunfire. Great. Watch the video. Right, there's a video on my website for it. Right. So we built this training to make sure that y'all are successful. Right. So just do the little things. Right. So that way it makes your life easier when you're in the field. So you're not confused. Because if you're confused, you're going to confuse the client. And a confused client doesn't do what? They don't buy. They do not buy. They do not buy. Okay. So full name, create a new account for the client, new contact, put in their date of birth, email address doesn't matter. You don't need it. Just so first and last name, email address, and then zip code, right? That's a phone number in there as well. As much information as you can put in. There's only like 5 sections that it asks you for to create an account. After that, right, you just scroll down. You don't need any of this stuff. Okay. You don't need anything on page 2, right? You need their prescription drugs, which is at the end of page 2, right? Prescription drugs, and then page 3 for their doctors. You put that information in, bingo. Now you know what plans they do, what plans can be in the best interest of the client, because it's already calculating prescription drug cost. Okay. It's already telling you if the doctors are in network, right? So that's a huge benefit for you. Okay. So that is really, really, really crucial for you guys. Let me see if I can pull up a Sunfire tab over here. I don't know if, yeah, let's go new window. Let's go ahead and let's go to Sunfire. Okay. Let's go ahead and log in to Sunfire over here. Okay. I'm just going to do it briefly for you guys. So that way, because this isn't a Sunfire tutorial. Well, I could start from scratch, but so when you get to, this is like the home screen, just click search contacts and then hit add new contact. So do you want to come over here so you can see my screen so I could show you what I'm doing? Okay. So, all right. So now we're in Sunfire. Okay. So now that we're in Sunfire, okay, what we need to do is we need to hit add new contact. Okay. So we're going to type in the person's name, test, or let's do a St. Louis Blitz, right? That'll be what it is. Date of birth 01011957. Okay, great. Zip code 63103. Email, don't need it. Phone number, let's go ahead and put my phone number in there. Primary contact, doesn't matter. Next, we're going to hit save and quote. Okay, now it's going to bring up this over here, right? And the county. You can't move forward until you click the county. So let's go St. Louis. Let's go to St. Louis. All right. After you click that county right here, your next step is you're going to click view all plans. Okay. Right beneath here, I don't need you to check any of these boxes. Don't check any of these boxes right now. Don't check any of them. Just hit view all plans, because we're going to be able to change the boxes on the side right here. Okay. So we have on the left Medicare Advantage / Part D. Then we have Part D, which is our prescription drugs. Then we have Medicare supplement. Then we have Medicare Advantage and special needs plans. Hospital indemnity plans, just ignore it. Don't need it. We know who we're doing hospital indemnity with. So over here, I then have medications, right? So I click that at the top and I start typing in medications. All right, type in the name, the dosage, right? So I got that. Go ahead and type that in. Perfect. Let's go ahead and type in an insulin, Lantus. Perfect. 10 milliliter vial. Boom. Perfect. I type in albuterol, sulfate, goes in the nebulizer, HFA right here, which is the actual inhaler, not the nebulizer. Let's do the inhaler. Add medication. All right. And then let's do Jardiance, which is can be a tier 3 or tier 4 drug. So it's a brand name. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save pharmacy and medications. Okay. So after I hit save pharmacy and medications, it's going to tell me what our estimated annual cost is, because that's prescription drugs. It's going to tell me the monthly premium right here, which we obviously know. But since the monthly premium is 0, the estimated annual cost is strictly just going to consist of drugs. But I need to put in doctors. So let's go to St. Louis. and let's put in, let's see, I'll just do example doctors, right? It doesn't matter, right? So let's go ahead and click the next one. In St. Louis, you got to choose the city, so, or county rather. Actually, no, those are the cities. Those are the cities. So yeah, let me add one more just so we can see. Yeah, nearby cities and towns, right? So St. Louis, right? So we'll click that. And then what we want to do again is let's pre-populate Smith since we're already populating. So we have 3 different doctors named Smith. Okay. After you do that, it's going to come up and it'll tell you if there are any locations in network for these doctors. Just so happens that those doctors aren't in network with any plan. Apparently so. Okay. So I'm going to find one. I hope I can spell the name correct that I had earlier today. So give me 1 second and I'm going to find it and see if I can. So I'm on right now. So one thing that I want to do and I want to look at here is I want to see if the doctor's in network. Here we go. So this doctor's in network, which is Dr. Amy Musiak. Okay, so Amy is a network, but the other ones aren't. So what I do is I click details here. And then after I click details, I can then view the plan benefits, right? This isn't a call about viewing plan benefits. Okay, but I look at all this stuff and I see, right? How much does the ambulance cost? $270. Perfect. How much is the dental? $1,000. Perfect. Right? How much is the diagnostics doctor office for a primary care doctor is $0, for a specialist is $40. Okay, so I scroll through that. And the next thing that I go to here is drug cost details. I want to see what the cost is. Tier 1 drug, tier 1 drug, tier 2 drug, tier 3 drug. It says it right here. So if you guys can't see it, it says it right there at the top. Right here. Underneath Lantis, it's going to say what tier it is. So tier 3. Okay. This estimated full drug cost has nothing to do with how much they are paying. That's the estimated full drug cost, not what they're going to pay. Jardiance, tier 3 drug. Estimated full drug cost. Wow. So I put in all those drugs over there. At the top, we can see here, the top 3, since they're tier 1 or tier 2 drugs, are $0 copayment. Doesn't cost them anything. Then the Lantis is a $35 copayment. And then the Jardiance is a $47 copayment. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go on that section of it. All right. So if I need to go ahead and go through the plans and look at all that stuff, this is what I'm doing, right? This is my steps and my procedures. All right. So let's say, for example, we have a veteran. You go to Medicare Advantage. This plan right here has a Part B give back of $50, which doesn't include prescription drugs. Okay, because it's Medicare Advantage only. And then we have a Medicare, or actually scratch that, that's Medicare supplement. Then we go to special needs. Special needs plan is going to be for people that are dual eligible on both Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, HMO DSNP, or if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we have CSNP, that stands for chronic special needs plan. That's for people that are diabetics or have heart failure or something to that effect. So for a new agent, you're green. To give you a little recap of what we did here, and we'll wrap it up since I'm in St. Louis and we got a ton of people that we're hanging out with, but I don't want to short our time. So I wanted to give you all, at least 30 minutes. I get into the home. I sit down with the client. I talk with the client. I get their red, white, and blue card. I get their current health insurance card. And then I start filling out the Medicare worksheet. After I start filling out the Medicare worksheet, I get all the data that I need. You guys might send it to me, right? You send it over to me. The next step is to go into Sunfire. After I go into Sunfire, I create an account for the client. I get all the medications. I input the meds, input the doctors after I created that account with the zip codes and I got the county and whatnot. And then that's it. Done. Now I can start comparing plans and seeing if their doctors are in network, right? Let's say, for example, they tell me that they're currently with United Healthcare. Okay, but their doctor's not showing up in network and we're changing them to a newer, updated, better United Healthcare plan. Call the doctor's office. I'll call the doctor's office, call the dentist's office. I always call them to get the information because I like to confirm because I don't want to have any errors or mistakes. Okay, so it can happen that a doctor might not show up in network, but just call and confirm because you don't want to lose a sale just because you looked in here and it didn't say that was in network, and it very well might be. So I'm going to wrap it up with there. We won't take any questions this evening. So if you do have questions, please reach out to me and just send me an email. But that's it. This call is recorded and we will get you all hooked up and I'll send this on out after I chop it on up. So I appreciate everyone. Have a great evening. If you need me, reach out to me. This will be on YouTube. I'll chop it up and have a wonderful evening. Thanks, everyone.